Boy, oh boy. Uh, I wish I would have kept some of my classics. But, nevertheless, that's neither here nor there. That's just a thought. Because I've done a video like this before. And the meshing of Black Lives Matter, which to me is a front. It's disingenuous. It's corporatized. It's funded by those in power that will only give you just as much leeway as they deem or see fit. All movements are like that, for the most part, that have been supported by black folks in terms of getting equal status, rights, and things of that nature. There's always a black a black hand in those dealings in terms of funding. We see it with politicians. We see it. Have you ever wondered why the more black politicians in a city, in a area, a county, the worse off situations of black folks are in terms of education, economic opportunity? It's because, and I'm going to tell you why that is. It's because when you don't have the purse to fund your political objectives, and you rely on the purse of said others, your agenda will never come to the forefront. Because he who funds holds all the cards and pulls all the strings. And this is where a lot of white folks, they wonder, well, they have black police chief, black fire department chief, black mayor. What's the problem? See, and that's the problem. And us being black folk, we're very symbolic. We love titles. We love titles. And we love positions. So long as they black, who cares? The mayor black, that's it. But we don't hold these politicians and figureheads accountable. Now, let me get into this video. The Black Lives Matter, now it's meshing with black trans pride, transgendered pride. And, my gosh, I swear, boy, the reason this is, and I'm going to say this, the media has to make the black man less threatening. The powers that be, well, what's the solution? Because if you notice, the media builds up the evil black man, and have you noticed that over the years? Think about this. The black man was demonized up until, I would say, about Obama came into office. The black man was revered as a brute, very violent, over-sexualized heathen that needed to be contained and that needed to be controlled. So this is why you had laws that were instituted by Democrats to imprison black men by the hundreds of thousands for minor infractions. And I said this about, and see, I don't let the Congressional Black Caucus off the hook. See, I'm going to explain this to you as well about maintaining my point about the image of black men. The Congressional Black Caucus went before its peers, most notably Caucasian white men, and said, hey, we have to do something about this. Every time I'm going to my office in Harlem or Southeast DC or North Philly, I'm stepping over crack vials. I'm stepping over Willie the Wino. I'm seeing Patricia giving you know what to some guy in a vacant building, and that's just on my way to my office. We need to do something about this. All these drugs, all this killing, we need to do something about this there. So what their counterparts did, their peers, said, okay, Congressional Black Caucus, we're going to partner with you to draft up some of the most, draconian legislation in this, I would say, within the last 40 years in terms of imprisonment. So this is why you had black men going to jail over a couple grams of crack cocaine, and you had White Mike, who's pushing, I don't know, I'm not familiar with drug weights and all that. I never sold dope. But he's pushing a substantially more amount of drugs than Tyrone, but getting less of the time. So while I say all that to say, I bring that story up to say that the media loves to put all the blame on white folk in terms of these we're entering a stage. Obama attempted to do this, if not he did, prison reform. And we put all that blame on these white politicians, when in fact it was the Congressional Black. You can Google it. You can go Google, and I'm not going to sit up here and put links in there. Google. The Congressional Black Caucus played a major role in putting a lot of black men in jail. Now, when you sell crack and dope, you're going to go to jail. Now, back to the image of black men. Like I said, it's not up to about 2008 then you started seeing the trend. Now, I want you just to reflect and think back on what I'm saying. Not until Obama came into office, about, 08? Then you start seeing the race, the police brutality, the unjustified shooting, and depending on who you're talking about or who you talk to, the unjustified killings of unarmed black men and women, mostly black men. Now, black men have always been killed by police. Unjustly, unarmed, it's nothing new. But now with the age of social media and everybody having a voice, things have changed. So you see the transition of the brutish, heathenistic, violent black male to now we're putting angel wings. Woo! We putting angel wings on these same black men. To whereas in the 80s, black men, you got shot down. There was no, you was just another dead brother. Now we're putting angel wings. We're putting slogans, I can't breathe. Hands up, don't shoot. Now we are, it's like a martyr. We're martyring we're monitoring bad decision making, poor choice of situational awareness. We're rewarding that now. That's what we're rewarding. And to make that, see, like I said, up until Obama, the black man was demonized. But now, with all that, now we have to make the black man soft. Which is exactly what you have with this whole black trans thing. And let me just say this. You know me, Painless, I've said that who you sleep with, who you live your life as, that's your business. I wouldn't treat you any different. But where I do have a problem is you speaking on behalf of me. I am, like I said, I am not George Floyd. I am not Eric Garner. I am not Rashard Brooks. I am none of those men. Because I wouldn't be in a position that like that. And now with the meshing of black trans, first you had Black Lives Matter, which, and merging it with the LGBT community. And I'm not going to get in there. It's so obvious. It's so obvious that we've never had the same plight. Their cause is not even close to what black folks have gone through since we've been in America. The ups and downs, the bumps and bruises, the hangings and all that stuff. I'm not even going to dissect that. I've dissected that in the past. Many of you all probably know what my position is on that, so I'm going to leave that alone. So now we're delving into new waters. Now we're going off in the deep, where we're linking black trans lives matter. Black trans lives matter. I was watching there. If you look at, speaking of Google, there's a image of a black trans man, woman. I forget his name or her name, but I guess this, I did a little background. He was a trans forefather, a forefather or sister, as you would say, a pioneer in the black transgender movement that lived in New York City during that time, where it was free and sex and that Studio 54 era, I guess, for some of my NYC listeners. And if you pay attention to Google, that is the image. That's who that is on there. Because I was like, who is this? So I had to, Painless does what Painless does. And I had to do some investigating on that. And it didn't interest me. Not my lifestyle. I just got enough information for just to present it to you, and you can go and do what as you may with that information. But you have to soften and make the black man look less threatening now. That's what I believe this whole black trans thing is doing. He's not the brute anymore. And this is the catch right here. This is the kicker right here. During the time black men were demonized and labeled as everything bad under the sun, that was the time where there was the most inequality, the most killing of black men, unjustified, where blacks didn't have as much opportunity as now. To fast forward to '08, where black folk damn near have every opportunity to make themselves be and who they want to be, to invest, to start businesses, to go to school, college, or whatever you want to be. But now, we making the black man more effeminate now? So when the black man didn't have as much opportunity as he had now, you made him be out the most worst thing ever. When you think that role should have switched, when you think now that black men should be in a time where he didn't have as much opportunity as he has now, that would have been a better time to, if you're going to do it, effeminize a black man. Build him up. Build the Negro up. But now when a time, where black people have all the things to their avail to be who they want, you would think now there'd be a time to demonize the black man if it's about racism. But now we're propping him up. Now, see, it's not about fighting for rights so you can get things that were promised to us. Now you fighting for the right to be a goddamn woman. That's what you're fighting for. Freedom. And I've said this, we always follow what white people do. White people want to see, and I said this, they say, well, this is why white people, they can, a lot of white people, they can send their kids can go on 3-month excursions in China, backpacking for 3 months without a care in the world. Most black folks can't do that, but we sure fight for the right to want to do that. We're always clout chasing and running after white success, and we can't do that. We shouldn't. You can do it, but it comes at a cost. It will come at a cost. And it's not about doing it. It's about why you're doing it, because you see white folks doing it. This isn't organic. You think black folks just woke up and said, a black guy just said, I want to wake up and dress as a woman? No, he's seen other people do that. White folks do that. White men practice that. Now, I could go into homosexuality, and the nuts and berries Negroes hate when I talk about this. Homosexuality was in ancient Africa. You can look it up. Parts of Angola. Other places. Homosexuality is not unique to white people. And I've been around the world. There's always been some femininity in the cultures of men, where men have dressed up as women, or have taken on the roles of a woman but is a male, especially in the islands, in the Pacific Islands. You have that role. So, I'm just squash that. I just wanted to throw that out there. But yeah, we're living in a very crazy time right now. But see, you have to keep your head on a swivel and maintain frame and bearing to see through all the BS. So we had the Black Trans Lives. The softening of black masculinity. Talking about killing a fly with a bazooka. I mean, you go from two extremes. See, guys like myself, we're becoming rare. I've talked about the rare, average, not what I mean average, this good common sense guy, keep himself in shape, uses rationality and reason and logic over emotion, can sit back and observe and look at things for what they are, let the cards fall where they may. Guys like us are becoming a rarity. We are. Now we're being replaced with overly emotional men, quick-tempered, soft-muscled, soft-handed men that cater to the feminist agenda, that are catering to you just have to hunker down and maintain who you are. Weather this storm. Weather it until you go on to where else you have to go. That's all you can do. But yeah, it's really something, I tell you. It really is. But I just wanted to put some food on your brains, food for thought rather, before we start this day. Painless out.